Hello, welcome to Follow Everton, and on tonight's match preview for Man United, I've got me. Hi, Jeff. We're live.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone who's here joining in as well.
Oh, and we've also got Dan. He's waiting to come in. I think he must have been setting his laptop up, but you won't recognise him actually now because Dan actually has decided now, having met his local hero Lee Carsley, the fellow Midlands-born person. That he wants to mimic his look and Jeff, how would you describe it just before we bring Dan in? How would you describe Dan's new look? Would you say it's thuggish? Does he fit in with the Scouse sort of vibe?
I would just say everyone should stay seated and not panic. It really is him.
It is Dan. He's hardcore now.
Oh my word.
Dan, I've got to address this first and foremost before we talk about the Man United match. What was going on around your head? You were the mermaid, you were the Viking, you were Jan and Dan, and now it's more Jeff and Dan. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I've had every hairstyle, Enter. I've literally had the Aquaman sort of long hair to the back, and it's a lot of maintaining. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for the hard nut, the look that makes people cross the road. That's the look I'm going for. So this is the new look. It was funny because if you see my videos on Twitter, I got my girlfriend to cut it, but I didn't actually know what she'd done to it. I just said shave it all off, and she'd done a patch all the way around, and then stripes. And then she said to me, "I dare you to go out in that to Morrison's." And I goes, "I'm not going to back down. If you dares me, you know me. Give me a dare. You've seen me with my face paint on the channel. If you give me a dare, I'll do it." But I went to town and I had a hat on and I took it off. And on the video, I was proper getting looked at.
And Peter comes in with the first comment and just hits it.
I think I have missed a spot. Look, someone said I missed a spot. I think I've done a good job. But the only thing is, and it's making me laugh. You know, I'm late on the channel because these headphones feel like I'm putting them on an egg.
That'd be great. Move the mic closer to you. Move the mic a little bit closer to your mouth.
Well, I didn't want to move it too close.
Bit more.
There we go.
What I was going to say was, Jeff, he looks like he could definitely fit on County Road pre-match now, doesn't he? With that nice kit, the shaved hair, the stubble, and it's almost as if his accent doesn't match his old look now. I think, Dan, you're going to have to give us a Scouse accent.
I can try. I don't mind Scouse. I can try. I mean, I'm on the space.
What he needs is a pair of 18 Olas now as well.
Yeah, I'll get the docks out. Get the docks out. That'll be a good style as well. Bold head, dock boots. I'll be sorted.
Some Nike.
What do you think, though? Like generally,
I mean, Dan, I think
it's not as surprising as I thought it was going to be. To be honest,
I thought I'd look more stupid. I actually generally think I don't look as bad as I thought. Like,
no, it looks all right. Well,
because I've got beautiful eyes, I get away with it.
See, I approve.
Throw the hair back,
no, when you cut your hair and grow it back, it grows back nice. Apparently,
nice.
It was wacky and it suited you the way it was. But look, you know, it is what it is now.
But Ryan, what you didn't know is, do you know when I had that hairstyle, I dyed it all. So because I bleached,
you're not naturally blonde.
No, I dyed it to be like for silver as a joke, and then it went it wasn't nice hair. It wasn't nice hair. It looked all right, but it wasn't good condition. This is like just better now, better maintaining.
Yeah.
But I probably will go back to
slightly longer,
flick back, short on the sides.
Nice.
Just try different styles. Just enjoy yourself. Have a laugh. Enjoy yourself, and see what you can be in life. You know what I mean? I keep changing my style because try it. Why not?
You're bonkers. Well, you're here for the preview. Got Jeff and Dan with me today. An honour and a privilege as always to have these two Muppets with us for this Friday evening preview. And I'm sure they've done their vast research, as I've always asked them to do before they've come on, particularly surrounding the opposition, because everyone here knows everything about Everton. Let's be honest. You're watching this show. You know the situation. You want to know a little bit about Man United, what they've been up to as well. But first, I think we've got to touch base on injury news, Frank Lampard's press conference. So, Jeff, to you first. Lampard's conference. He gave some positive team news today. Calvert-Lewin is in contention, and actually Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina are not far away, are they?
No. It's to be honest, I love Frank Lampard's press conferences because he speaks so well. He's always clear. He's always straightforward. He doesn't always tell everything. He doesn't give away information, but he doesn't lie either. So he'll keep stuff to himself occasionally, but he's straightforward and honest. And he's not big time in it or trying to underplay it. He's just straightforward and honest about where we're at. And I like that. It's really refreshing. And I can believe what he says. When he says stuff, I believe him. And I think that if you think of it from the player's point of view, that must be so refreshing for the players because they know that he's got their back, and they know that he will give it to them straight, no matter what it is. So, for example, a Connor Cody thing, he said we don't need to sort it now, but he knows how I feel about him, and so he didn't say what's definitely going to happen, but he made it clear what he'd like to happen. So the players.
There's absolutely no, for the record, there's no benefit of Everton exercising the £4.5 million buyout clause at this stage. I think the loan was always because of the finances to help Everton in that window, and we expressed to Wolves we had the money but wanted him and he wanted to come. So the deal suited all the parties at the time. So they'll exercise that in the summer, and it would have been done. I imagine last summer had we had more than one pot to piss in. But what you did say, Jan, you're talking about Lampard and the way he comes across, Jeff. He's very relatable to the players because he's not a lot older than him, and damn, they would have seen the Premier League, wouldn't they, and recognised him. And I think that gives him that little bit of authority that I think, and for me, there's no surprise there that actually the players want to work for him and perform for him.
Yeah, I think it was a cracking interview. I listened to him earlier on. I caught most of it, and what I like from Lampard at the minute is he looks like he's on a mission. He says in the interview, he says we didn't play well last game, but we didn't play well and we won. But he seems to have that drive. He knows in his head how he wants this Everton team to play. And when someone's pushing him to be what he wants them to be, at least we're going to get a good team, right? And I do feel like he'll have us halfway through the season playing really, really, really well. I mean, we're playing well now, but you know what I mean? Do you know where everything comes together? When we like one thing Lampard touched on is that when we attack, we need to be more clinical. We're starting to have possession, but we're not always getting something for having possession. When you have possession, you need to get goals. That's fact, because you don't know whether you're going to get possession in the next 20 minutes. So you've got to have something to show for it. And Lampard's basically trying to push us to do that. I've seen some clips of the training. I don't know whether you've seen, Ryan, but some of the tackles flying in got me shitting my pants. Honestly.
Yeah. And now why they're getting all injured.
Yeah.
What I would ask you, though, you're touching upon goals. You're touching upon the lack of goals we've scored overall, you could say. How much of the trade-off is being solid in defence? I mean, I don't know how to word this, but we're very solid in defence. We're not scoring a lot of goals. Is there an issue with the balance? Maybe we're too conservative, and that's actually the reason we are doing well defensively, but our attack's suffering. Or is it personnel, or is it tactics, Jeff? What would you put this down to?
No, I don't think it's that at all.
You don't think the link?
No, I don't, because I think we're a really well balanced side, and I think we defend well. The midfield is strong, and we attack well. What I actually think it is it's a belief thing. I think it's a case of being willing to try things and them not work, and then get up and try it again, and still for it to not work, and just to keep trying it over and over again, knowing that it will work one of the times. It's you've got to be brave enough to miss chances. And I think the way he spoke about Iwobi was particularly telling to me, which was that he's a work in progress, and he is endemic. He is systematic of the club as a whole. He has all the ability, And many of our other players have the ability, but they just don't have that killer touch yet. And I think that's the thing, is that when we become a really good side, it can be the same players, but they'll just have belief and the knowledge that if I make the run, this player's going to pass me the ball. If I do a run that doesn't get me the ball, it's for a reason. Like, I'm going to pull a defender out the way, like Mopay does. You see him often. He makes runs for no apparent reason, but by making that run, he creates a bit of space for somebody else to use. And I think that kind of sympathetic style of play, where all the players know what they're doing, what kind of runs they're going to make, where they need to be, that will soon start to click. And I think it's just a case of familiarity and repetition. The more we do it, and the more we start seeing results from what we do, as in terms of, if it works, it gives you belief that it will work again. And the more you do it, the more you get confident and belief, and the more that other players can come in and fit into that system, because they'll know exactly what they're supposed to do. And that just takes practice. And I think that's all it is. It's just a case of practice makes perfect and belief makes confidence. That's simply that.
It's going to take time, isn't it? I think and repetition and working at this. And I think the only way I see it is up, because the reality is, I think this is the most settled side in a while. I think everyone knows really that who should start overall and who's going to play really, but also your options to come in and replace your likes of your Colemans and your Garners and Decores. You've got some level of standard there, but at the same time, it's a settled team and everyone wants to see the 4-3-3. That's the way of playing now, and it's systematically just even bringing Garner, Adrissa in. You've got allowing everyone to function. You've got the double eights who've got more freedom and the engine to get back. I still think Onana, there's a lot more to come from him. And then you'd say the weakest area is really the forward positions, not in terms of individuals, but just in terms of numbers, because we've got a lot of 60-minute players and not a lot of 90-minute players. Dan, what I will ask you though, Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate coming back, although we're just saying now that the side is settled and there's no argument for any other starting.
And Calvert-Lewin as well.
Going to come to that.
Yeah.
He's in my head. I will pick your bet. I know you're itching.
He's in my head on this, to be fair. Like you say, 3 players coming in, but Calvert-Lewin is above Holgate and Mina to come into this squad for me.
No, leave Calvert-Lewin for 1 minute.
I will leave him. I'll leave him alone, but he's definitely going to get a conversation.
It's good to have Mason Holgate and Mina pushing, potentially coming back into around the fold to push the other 2 centre backs, even though it's very, very settled. And
when it rains, it pours. When you're struggling, players get injured and you struggle more, like last season. When everything's good and you've got a squad where everyone wants to play, things seem to get brighter. And we've got Holgate coming in. Godfrey won't be long back. Mina's fit. To be fair, one thing I will say about Mina, Ryan, is that we do need Mina in this squad, because if Cody or Tarkowski does get injured, which I pray they don't, if they do get injured, I want Mina to come in for one of them. I want him to be the replacement, because I feel he's like for like.
He's the like for like, yeah. But Godfrey, the thing is, Godfrey is a bit of an enigma, really, because he's not really he's not a top centre back, is he? And he's not really a top fullback. He might end up being just the utility player for us, who covers left and right fullback, centre back. I just think if he had half the brain of one of the 2 centre-backs we've got, along with his natural physique and athleticism, you're talking about a world-class player, but he's just not. I am cautious of time. We want to keep to 30 minutes, just it makes it easier for people to watch it back. Dan, so you're itching to talk about Calvert-Lewin. I think this is the thing we're all talking about. He did have a setback. We talked about it on Twitter. I posted it before it was out there. I wasn't sure whether to believe it, but then it came true. He's now back. He's available. He's fit. He's not match fit, but he's fit. To be involved. How tempting is it to play Calvert-Lewin then, with considering Neal Maupay has done admirably? And I think really what happens is, by bringing in Calvert-Lewin, the entire the entire side changes really, because you've lost that press from Maupay, but possibly gained a physical presence against the Man United team that arguably has 2 midgets at centre half who Calvert-Lewin would run rings round if he was fully fit.
That's the point in it. I think it's a confusion because you do think to yourself like, with who's the centre back that they got from Ajax, the left back that they play centre back? Is it
Martinez?
Martinez, yeah. They play him centre back. They play him centre back, and he's about 5 foot something. And I think honestly, with how poor their centre backs are in the air, you'd miss a trick not playing Calvert-Lewin for me. And on what you just said on Mopé, Ryan, I definitely play Mopé. You can't not play Mopé because he's absolutely amazing. But I would play Gordon or Gray with Calvert-Lewin and Mopé. I think Mopé can play the right wing up and down, but help Calvert-Lewin out to strike it in the box. And the good thing if you do that is Mopé won't get tracked because he can play as a winger. But when he gets the chance, he can get in the box with Calvert-Lewin. But watching how much Man United struggled against Brentford with Tony, who is a like for Calvert-Lewin, good in the air, big, strong, fast, I just would start with Calvert-Lewin and then bring him off and then move Mopé to striker and then bring on your Gray. But it's hard because Gray, if you remember, he just played well against Man United. Can you remember that counter-attack where we drew 2-2 and he got us on the counter-attack and Townsend scored? Gray is... And I don't think... I've just had this conversation earlier on. Gray is playing well, so it's a hard one.
There's no need to drop Gray, really. This is the issue you've got. Arguably, you want Gray to start. If Gordon's fully fit, he can cause them problems as well. And then Mopé, he's got 1 goal in 3, but you feel like the goals could come, certainly at Goodison under the lights, with Man United a bit on the ropes. And, what you've spoken about with Calvert-Lewin, if he was 100% fully fit, I'd make a tactical switch and I would start Calvert-Lewin and not Mopé. But actually, I think Mopé is going to start, and because Calvert-Lewin is probably not fit to play 90 minutes. Jeff, is there an argument you should play Mopé, run them ragged for 65 minutes and bring Calvert-Lewin off? And also, just on that, Calvert-Lewin, should he be watching Erling Haaland and trying to mould his game around him? Because he is a bit of a tapping merchant. Calvert-Lewin's got the physique as well and the build. Why is he... I
think to call out Erling Haaland a tapping merchant...
it's a tongue-in-cheek comment.
Yeah. But I just want to go back to what Ryan said. To what Dan said. I think a lot of people underrate.
We'll have a clash on this. We'll have a clash because we already have.
They'll underrate the Man United centre-back pair of Varane and
Martinez isn't good for me. I don't think he's a good centre-back.
He is.
I really don't.
He is outstanding.
He's not good in the air, though, is he?
He is good in the air, but what he
good in the air
does, yes, he is very, very good in the air. He wins about 95%.
Sure. Do you think Martinez could beat Calvert-Lewin? This is just a question to you. This is to what you're saying. You can carry on talking.
Yes.
This is a question to you.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think Martinez would beat Calvert-Lewin in an aerial threat across in the box? No, Jeff, come on.
It's not. No, wait. Just let me make the point.
Go now.
It's not about being able to outleap somebody, right? The reason why... Hello, Puddy. The reason why he's such a good centre-back and the reason why he's a problem for a lot of players is that he is a little bit like Mopé. He is a niggly player. And what he does is he does little nudges and little movements and little shoulders and little runs across so that when players are coming in to do a header, what he does is he disturbs their runs. He gives them a little shove out of the way. He niggles, and that's what he does. That he uses his intelligence rather than aerial sort of. He's 5'10". He's not that short, but he's not a massive centre back.
6 foot. What he
does is,
what's Calvert-Lewin's? Calvert-Lewin's 6'3" with a jump of 2 meters. Calvert-Lewin's about.
He's 5'8".
But like I said, what he actually does is he uses his intelligence to move people. So if you're going to go and make a run in to head the ball, he's that guy who'll just put a little nudge in there so that you don't get a clean contact on the header. So
he can't win. So he can't win the header. So he puts his shoulder in because he can't win the header. But that's saying he can't win the header.
Yes, right. Okay. But he doesn't need to win the header.
So I win.
He's a good defender. He's a very, very good defender. But I think if you put him against Mopé, not getting a sniff. I think if you're playing Calvert-Lewin in the air will dominate him. And if you get that ball in, he will 100%. Dominate him. He's 6'2". Leap on him like a salmon. And you're talking about a 5'8" midget. So, I mean, this is the thing. I think there's no
I think Onana is the key to this game, actually. And
this is my
reason. For the same reason, because Martinez will be central. And what Onana does really well is he goes outside of the back post. And if you play it long over to him, then he's heading it back across, and then the players have to turn, and that disturbs the centre backs. And that's, I think, where we'll get joy is like going far with the set pieces, and they're heading back across, and that causes a little bit more chaos, causes players to have to turn, movements better and stuff like that.
My point, Ryan, is. If you play, I think Mopé's good. That's why I said I pull him out wide and play Calvert-Lewin with him, because they both can play together. Because Mopé gets back and he puts his shift in everywhere.
Or Gray, there's absolutely no point swapping them over.
But would you say where Gordon and Gray don't add goals, Mopé would add goals as a winger?
No, not from that position.
As he's pulling in.
No. Just for the benefit of time here, no.
But Jeff, just one thing on this though. Here's the last question. Do you think that? With Man United, their massive weakness being aerial threat and set pieces in defence, because it is their weakness. I've watched them. Do you think us playing 3 players that ain't good at heading the ball, say we play Gordon, Mopé and Gray, do you think we're letting them off on a weakness?
No, because Harry Maguire might play. We don't actually know who's going to start that
fight. Playing. He's injured. He's injured.
Yeah. So, Jeff,
Harry Maguire's injured.
Yeah. Team news from Man United?
Yeah. Harry Maguire's injured. And what's the other centre-back called? Varane. He's a doubt. He might play, but we're not sure. So he caught an injury in the Omonia Nicosia game, and he had to come off. So he's a possible doubt. So the fact that it's a Sunday night game might give him the few days he needs to recover. So without Maguire, they do lack an aerial presence. I do agree with you on that.
So that perhaps that the team news for Man United will dictate Frank's. I just think I would personally love Calvert-Lewin to play for the reasons Dan has set spot on. I can understand he's a bit torn about Mopé because of the pressing, but I think when you're putting him on the wing, I think actually Gordon and Gray would outweigh the contribution ahead of Mopé, who I think is. I don't think he's really going to be strong out there. I want to ask Dan about this comment here. Thanks for the team news, Jeff. Peter's saying about the speed of Man United's midfield. Is that an area we should target, Dan? Because we've got legs and energy, and they've got snails.
I've said this all along, and I've been looking forward to this game. It's at the top of my list because I knew Man United was getting overhyped, and I knew they was going to get battered by Man City. I'll point that out. And Jeff will disagree again, but I've told him, and I knew they would because they got battered by Brentford for a reason. And basically,
I'm not disagreeing.
I generally think if you give me Man United's midfield, Ryan, I think you've got McTominay, not that good in my opinion. Casemiro, he's not got into the squad yet properly. Eriksen, good on the ball, but not that he's not going to press, is he? He's not going to run.
I think we can put rings around them.
This is what I'm saying. And we have very, very, very energetic midfielders now. Onana, Gonagay is still very, very lively. And Iwobi, I think Man United are going to get very frustrated with how quick they get closed down. And also, Ryan, we pass the ball well now as well, don't we? There looks like there's a good partnership in the midfield where we can actually create stuff now. But on what you said earlier on, it doesn't seem to be clicking, but it's only a matter of time. It's going to happen very fast because do you know where balls played through? You think to yourself, right, next time I'm going to be on that. And that's what happens. These players haven't played together that long, but the longer they play together, the more they're going to click. And it is happening very fast. They're starting to think, because Lampard says, I can't wait for these to be as good as I want them to be because Lampard can see how good they can be. And it's only a matter of time. And I think, I really do think this is going to be a good game. But what do you think on the game, Ryan? How do you think that Man U result is going to affect us? Do you know where they got battered by City? Do you think they're going to come out as good, or do you think the confidence is going to be knocked?
He's going to be told that to treat the game in isolation. The players will be told it was a one-off and to keep going. And you're better than Everton, and you beat them. You've got a good record here. Actually, we beat them last season, I think, at Goodison. And sometimes we just turn up and we beat Man United at home comfortably. I've seen it many times, and we lose a few, but we win a few. And I don't think it will affect them too much in the grand scheme of things. I think coming to Goodison, I think actually what we can do is really impose ourselves on this game and cause a hell of a problem for them. Obviously, we've talked about the tactical things here, which is the rotations in midfield and the speed of how we can press them down quickly and move the ball well around them. Also to get the ball into the box to Calvert-Lewin and allow Onana to join the attack to kind of dominate that aerial presence. So you've got two real strengths there that I think we've got to play up to. How are Man United going to affect us? Well, Man United have got a lot of pace. They've got a lot of wingers. I think Ronaldo won't play. He played midweek in the Europa League game.
They'll play a front three of
Martial.
They'll play Anthony on the right, Martial in the middle, and Rashford on the left.
So the counter-attacking merchants, really, that's what they're going to do. If we don't let them get the ball, if the midfielders don't get enough possession because they're swarmed, then I think we'll be comfortable. Yeah. But say this is the type of game where you do want someone like a Ben Godfrey in that defence.
It's funny
to match the speed, but
you could argue that in certain areas they've got better players than us.
Well, of course they have.
Equally argue that we've got better players than them in different areas. Ghana would walk into their midfield easily. I think the other player we're forgetting about is Manny Fernandez. He's a player that we have to be careful of because he's the guy who can take a shot from like 25 yards and just break a game with just one little moment. So he's someone we'll have to keep an eye on. So I think it's going to be a game where we have to keep it tight, do our closing down. We're going to be playing on the counter attack too. So it's going to be it's one of those. The longer we can keep it tight and keep them from scoring, the more we come into the game.
It's probably because you look the odd one out now. You shave your head.
Just let it go.
Yeah, but the longer we can keep them out, the longer we can keep them quiet, the more pressure they come under, and that gives us the chance to get something from the game. Oh my god! So yeah, I just think it's one of those games where I could see either team winning.
That's the one. You look like you're off Boyzone now. Like, do you know that guy off Boyzone? I forgot his name.
Boys
the one with the parting with the brown hair. I can't remember his name. I'll have to get back to you on that one. The one from Boyzone.
It's awful. Sorry, Jeff. The result for Man United this season, they lost to Brentford 4-0. They lost to Man City.
Justin Bieber.
They beat Liverpool. Didn't they, as well? So they've had mixed results on the whole. They're going to be a big threat with pace on the counter-attack. As one of our regulars has alluded to, they've got Bruno Fernandes in that midfield who we can't underestimate. So there's plenty of individual quality on paper from Man United. And they will they will still be favourites to beat us with the amount of players they've got. Sanchez, Rashford, Martial, Bruno Fernandes. They'll be expecting to come to Goodison to win. But I think we're actually expecting Everton to win. I think quietly confident here. My prediction is a 2-0 Everton win, and I think we'll suffocate Man United when we've got the ball. We'll cause some real problems. David is saying, "Who's the referee?" Oh, I'm the referee.
Who is the referee? Does anyone know? I don't think it matters who the referee is. To be fair,
no, but
there's going to be corruption. There's going to be corruption. Oh, I like this one. Someone that's made me feel good here. Didn't realise Vinnie Jones was a blue nose. Damn, what the fuck have you done? Do you know what? I've been called some things, but Vinnie Jones I'll take big time.
Can we get your predictions then?
Sorry, got that off. Well, what did you just say, Ryan? Did you just say 3-0 Everton?
2-0.
One thing I will say is the first goal is massive. And I know you said that's an easy thing to say, but I think Man U will crack Ryan if we get the first goal, because their confidence is where if we get that first goal, I reckon they'll start arguing. And I think they're on the verge of a very bad toxic dressing room with the players. And I think Fernandes will start moaning. Whoever they play will start moaning if we get that first goal. So
the referee is someone called David Coote.
Oh no,
I've never heard of him.
All as bad as each other.
Cootie.
Yeah.
Brian saying 3-1. Thanks, Brian. Andrew saying 2-1. Stu is going for 3-0, 4-0. Confidence in the comments.
Do you know what I think? I think 3-2. And I don't normally say this. I normally put as a big gap. I think they'll be good, but I think we'll be better. I think we've got the tools to hurt them, but I don't think they'll be crap because they need to bounce back. I think 3-2 to us, but I think it's good.
We haven't actually spoken about this because we're doing the predictions and whatever, but none of you have actually said who your starting lineup is going to be. No, I mean, we accept the back four, we accept the middle three. That's fine, okay. But are we going to start, for an example, are we going to start McNeil? Scored the other day. He's someone who can get good crosses in, whatever. Gordon didn't start the last game because he wasn't well. Is he going to come straight back in and start the game? Is Mupai going to start? I think he probably will. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Gordon, Mopai, and Gray. And I think that we'll probably use the pace on the counter a bit like they're going to do. But yeah, do you expect that to be a starting lineup, or do you expect different?
Well, I'll give you my team. So I'm going to go with Asmir Begovic in goal. I'm going to go with...
Stuff off you.
Are you really putting Asmir? No, to be fair, you're going to put Pickford in goals, Ryan. You're happy with everyone at the minute, so you're going to put Pickford in goal.
Pickford in goal. Coleman at right back. I'll go for Connor Cody, Ruben Vinagre, and Dwight
You're on the wind up, aren't you?
Midfield has got to be Andre Gomez, Gylfi Sigurdsson, and Mikel Arteta. And up front, Erling Haaland with Wayne Rooney and Manuel Fernandes.
That is a good team.
No,
that is a good team.
Jeff made a really good point, about the team. And I think
McNeil
has done enough to start. Actually, I thought he played shit against...
Did you? No, I asked a question. I didn't say he's done enough to start. I said,
no.
Has he?
Who did you play?
You've got the potential to have, with Man United, as I've already said, being crap at defending set pieces, you've got the potential to have Cody, Tarkowski, Onana, and Calvert-Lewin in the box for corners. How good does that sound? I mean, that's dangerous.
But, in terms of the team news, I know Dwight McNeil scored the winner the other day, but I didn't think his overall game is that. I don't think his overall game is that strong. I think he needs to work on it. It's very predictable. He always wants to take several touches to come back onto his left. Iwobi and Gray are actually very right-footed, but there's not the same reluctance to use their weak foot in terms of the dribbling, and I think it causes an issue for McNeil. I think he's reliable defensively, but for me, although he got his first goal, I still think Anthony Gordon will cause them a lot more problems, certainly against someone like Wan-Bissaka or the kids they've got in defence.
You do know, by the way, that McNeil played on the left the other day?
No, they rotated.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what I mean. So he didn't stick on that side. They swapped over.
So something that might change my view on this would be if Calvert-Lewin starts, I would play possibly McNeil left wing and say your job today is stick the ball on his head.
Yeah.
The thing is, then, this is where it gets confusing, Ryan, because they've got that Dalot or whatever he's called, and I've watched Man United because I watch my football all the time. He's got yellow carded every game. He can't tackle. Someone like Gordon running at him is going to struggle. That's a weakness for him because that Dalot can't tackle. So would you have someone running at him? where McNeil might be safe and not get at him. Every play we've got now is good. I do believe McNeil's got something that our other attackers hasn't. He's a better finisher. Every play is good. So I do think
McNeil and Michaelenko on the left, I think there's not an awful lot of pace or.
What I think you've got to do, Ryan, is I think you've got to do is I think you've got to play everyone. But I think you've got to give someone like 50, 60 minutes because they get burnt out, Ryan. You know, when you watch Gordon, you think, oh, he's shattered now. Bring him off quick. He's burnt out. Wingers, it's a hard job. This is the advantage of having more subs. Bring him off. This is the good thing now.
We can. Why you probably potentially bring Calvert-Lewin and McNeil on together around 60 minutes and say, this is your job now. You're the tactic for that. And the earlier tactic was Gordon running at Dallow and McNeil being slipped through. But actually, I think if Everton are in the lead at that point, you wouldn't want to bring Calvert-Lewin and McNeil on. I think you want Mopé on the pitch. I think he's got he's better defensively for the press. So Calvert-Lewin chasing shadows up front, defending a lead, unfit, is probably not what I want to do. I think what you've said today, I think the back four obviously picks itself. There's an argument maybe if you've got McNeil on the left, you want Ruben Vinagre because he could probably offer a bit more on the overlap. But let's be honest, there's no chance of that happening.
It's good though. It's good though, isn't it, Ryan? That we were actually debating that we've got competition because last season we didn't have no one on the bench.
No, but you've got a midfield three that picks itself, and then I think you've got to say right who's playing in these other. Who are the other three players? You've got either Calvert-Lewin, Mopé, Gordon, or Gray, or McNeil. So as I say, I can't pick it. I think if Calvert-Lewin was 100% fit, I'd be tempted to go with Gray and McNeil again. I think there's an argument you don't change your winning side, in which case you just stick with what he did last week, which is again McNeil and Mopé. And then there's an argument that you have to play Anthony Gordon because he's just too good against these sorts of defenders. But I think
big game player.
An argument that Calvert-Lewin should start because his reputation, he's a better player than Mopé on his day and most days. And, he's going to potentially cause a defence that's smaller than me problem. So I'm going to actually pass the buck. I'm going to shit out of this and say I'm going to give you two the opportunity to pick the teams.
I do think you can play on both, Ryan. I do. I disagree with what you said.
I want starting 11.
No, I do. Okay, I think you can play.
11.
What you said is, I disagree. I think you can play. You listen to this and listen. It's clever. I think you could play Mopé and Calvert-Lewin, as I said, as a 4-3-3. But when you're out of possession, say to Iwobi, can you play at a 4-4-2? Do you understand where I'm coming from? And get Iwobi to cover the wing and get the other winger to cover the other wing, and then you've got your two strikers, Mopé and Calvert-Lewin.
But you want to fuck around with the team for the
no, but you've got to be able to play different. Look at Man City. You can't judge what they are because you should be able to play 2 or 3 formations in one game to be unpredictable. That's how you end up a really, really good team.
The one problem I've got,
we could play 4-3-3 and then change it to a 4-2-2 when and as we choose. Like, because you could say if you've got, like, as I've said, you've got
the problem you've got is both.
Let me just make this point, though. You'll see what you think of this. You play the 4-3-3, so you play the defence we know. You play Onana, Gay, and Iwobi. And then you play, as I've said, Gordon, McNeil on the right, and DCL up front. There's your 4-3-3. And then you say, right, when we track back, I want to see Iwobi move to the left. I want to see Iwobi move to the right wing. I want to see Onana and Gay in the middle, and I want to see Gordon pull back as the left winger, still leaving Mopé getting back and DCL up top as a centre forward. That works. It really does work, and I do think Lampard will use that. It could work. And you've got
7 players.
It's not 7 players. You've got that completely wrong. It's 4-3-3. I haven't changed my players. I've got Gordon on the left. I've got Calvert-Lewin up front. I've got Mopé on the right.
Yeah. Jeff,
and I've got
Dan's basically wants is
the right amount.
Calvert-Lewin up front with Neil Mopé, Gordon, Gray, and McNeil on the wings rotating. Iwobi, Idrissa Gay, Garner, Toffees, Goodison.
It is quite simple. Trust me, Jet. I could show you. I'll do a tactical thing where I could show you. It's quite simple.
I understand that what you mean. The only problem I've got is that neither Mopé nor DCL are good and quick enough or strong enough to get up and down the pitch. So basically, they're going to be
Mopé did the most running last game than anyone. Mopé did more running than anyone last game.
Yeah, but he's
absolutely everywhere.
He's not quick. He's not like lightning quick to be getting up and down the pitch. So either he's back or he's or he's up front, but he's not both. If you know what I mean. Like Gray is really lightning quick. I don't think Mopé is very quick.
I also think Calvert-Lewin's quick. Let me point that out.
Yeah,
Calvert-Lewin's fast. Why does everyone say Calvert-Lewin's slow? He's like, why are people?
Quick. But listen, we need it.
No, I didn't say he's slow.
No, I didn't say you said he's slow. Why does everyone? I said like generally Calvert-Lewin, like people don't talk about him like he's fast. I didn't say you.
He's one of the fastest players.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't lose.
He's quicker than Mopé, and he's more of a presence than him, and he's probably. But it's a different type of goals he's going to score. So I think it comes down to what the game plan is and what Lampard's going to do. So let's leave that to Sunday and see what's going to happen. And as always, it's been a pleasure to be with you both, to look ahead to it. But it's good that we've had such debate in terms of the formation, tactics and options. And also, you know, instead of just coming on here and going, yeah, you read the same team as last week and we'll see what happens because no one's got a clue how we're going to play. But it's interesting. Will Frank Lampard go with Dan's unique system, which is a 4-4-2 out of possession with Iwobi on the left, or will he ignore his advice?
I don't think he'll go for it, but I definitely think it'll work in the future. I do think. It's hard to leave Mopé out, Ryan. He was that good last game. I couldn't leave him out. Mopé was really, really, really good last game. The amount of balls that was smashed into him when he controlled it and he holded it up. And Mopé, if you watched him against their centre back, he gave him an absolute. Mopé was. He is a shithouse, Ryan. And I feel like if you put Mopé against Maguire, I know Maguire's not playing that type of player. That if you put Mopé against a player that's got mistakes in him, he'll make mistakes because Mopé will get the mistakes out of him. He is that much of a shithouse.
We need some sort of spy to go in the Man United camp and feedback. Well, I've got evidence here. Maguire starting, so go with Mopé. Go with Mopé and Gordon. No, actually today it's Martinez. You've got to play DCL and get Onana in the box, making late runs. Okay.
Atmosphere is going to be mad in it as well, Ryan.
I think Onana's the key player for us. I really do. Onana and Iwobi probably, because I think we're going to play through the middle, straight through, not down the wings. I think we're just going to be going straight at them, straight up and down the lines. Let them have the wings. I don't think we're particularly good on the wings anyway. Neither of the fullbacks we're going to play are particularly great at getting up and down the pitch. So I think we're going to sort of play deeper in that regard so that we don't get caught out. We can keep pushing them out wide. And then if they have to get crosses in, we can gobble them up all day because in the centre-back positions we're really good. But I just think the centre of the pitch is massive for us because I think that's where we can stop them by being absolutely solid. And I think it's also where we can hurt them by being really quick on the counter-attack as well. And I think what's the name as well? Pickford could be key today as well because on Sunday, because he's the kind of guy, quick ball over the top to one of our players and running on, and you can have a goal in 5 seconds later. So he could be someone who could turn out to be quite key as well.
I imagine he will have saves to make. There's no way that he won't. But could Ronaldo play? Just finally, can I ask you, do you think Ronaldo's going to play, Jeff? No, he's fast. He's finished.
I think he'll be on the bench.
No, normally I'd say, Ryan, that they've got some players that scare me, but we've got a different team. Like normally I'd say Martial's a shitbag against us. Fernandez is a bugger against Everton. We all remember these players in our head that have buggered us up. Ericsson for Brentford, he completely turned the game around. He put on a show, didn't he? He's a shitbag. But the thing is, our defence is now Conor Cody and Tarkowski. So can they handle Martial? They probably can. So I don't know. It's kind of unknown, isn't it, with these players? It's different team.
I think the defenders have got the nous and the awareness.
Yeah,
and
I think that.
Field's got the legs to stop Ericsson running the show, whereas I think before when you've got Andre Gomez who's slow and
different team.
Cut out the silly mistakes though. We can't afford to be doing passes across like Tarkowski nearly conceded the other day.
Yeah. There's always one or two mistakes every game, and they either get punished or don't. But Garner's big mistake.
That's to me the big threat is us making a mistake by trying to pass out a defence. United are a team who can punish mistakes. That's the big difference between the game on Sunday and the game last Saturday, is that Southampton had opportunities to punish us for our mistakes, and they didn't, through luck, judgment, skill, whatever. United are a team that will take chances, so we have to be much more careful in possession. And if we have to boot it up the park, boot it up the park.
Yeah, and I think Calvert-Lewin gives you that opportunity to do that as well. If he plays, he can dominate. Listen, guys, thanks so much for coming on the channel as always.
I'm going to shoot now.
Thank you. Shout out to Wonderlust, Jetterix, Eugene, Andrew, Brian, David, Toothy Stew, Nikki, Peter, Paul, and Bill Kenwright as well watching. Thanks.
Yeah, to be fair, I've been reading all the comments, but it's a short one, isn't it, Ryan? We've had to cram it all in. Otherwise, we would have dropped all the comments, but we have been reading all your comments, some cracking comments. I've tried to speak about what the comments have been about as well.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Thanks, Live and Vid. Thanks, Kadeem. Much appreciated. We'll be back for the match reaction. It will be Jeff and Dan, I think, on Sunday night at 9 p.m. to react to Everton's 2-0 win against Manchester United.
It's exciting times.
Does it not finish till?
Big
it starts
game.
at 7. Huh?
Does it?
It's a 7 o'clock kickoff.
7 o'clock kickoff.
Oh, is it? All right. Okay. 7. 8,
is that past your bedtime, Jeff?
No, it's just past my brain time.
It's a late one. To be fair, Ryan, I did want to go to this one, but it's a stopover.
Yeah,
I was close to giving you that DM, Ryan, saying because this is going to be a good atmosphere. This is an exciting game, and
at least it's on TV. And it would have been a nightmare to get to it. I know a lot of people who've actually had to sell the tickets. Family members who passed it on to other family members because they can't go. Because
you can't get home at 7 in the morning.
The one that annoyed me the most is the bonfire night one in the evening at 5:30 on bonfire night at 5 o'clock. At 5:30, sorry, on the 5th of November. It's pissed me off because obviously I'm working in Saturday night, so I now can't go to that game. But it's just annoying, isn't it?
It's a massive game though, Ryan, because this will be the third win, won't it?
At least it's not a 12:30 kickoff on Sunday where you've got flat atmosphere, everyone's hungover or tired or just generally pissed off for one reason.
Oh, everyone's going to be partying, aren't they? They'll be well in the beers by then.
Well, Liverpool playing this weekend. You can always rely on them for a barrel of laughs.
I don't think they've been playing this season.
Yeah, they are playing.
I haven't seen them turn up this season. I was listening to, just before we shoot this off, I was listening to one of on the sports channel on Twitter, the one that Simon goes on, where people ring in and stuff. And O'Hara, he's on it. And I was listening to have a conversation about Van Dijk being amazing. And one of the commentators said, Tarkowski and Cody is better than Van Dijk this season. And I thought, yes, you are right. Because Van Dijk is not good this season. He isn't. He really isn't good this season. And I think our centre-backs, Ryan, Cody and Tarkowski, because they play for Everton, don't get the credit they deserve. I think we have got two of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. I generally do. You give me two centre-backs better than Cody and Tarkowski in the Premier League.
Yeah, a couple of our regulars are saying that they're playing Arsenal, but you know, I've watched Arsenal versus Liverpool many times. Every year, I think I watch this fixture, and I don't really watch Liverpool that much anymore. But I watch this fixture, and they usually bottle at Arsenal, so you'll know whether they're the real deal, whether they can beat Liverpool, which you think they could do, but they probably won't because this is going to be too big of a name for them, I fear. And but I think then they've got Man City, so. I hope both Arsenal and Man City win. Liverpool get no points from the next 6 games and they're out of the title race before the World Cup.
That'll be good.
We can just let them.
And then if we win, I think we go up to about 7th, don't we? If Liverpool lose and we beat United, we go above both of them, don't we?
I think we do. Yeah, we are close to 1 point. Ryan, do you wear that coat to the game?
Sometimes not.
That's a Rocky coat, that is, mate. That's like Rocky up the mountain sort of coat. I like the style. You've got to wear that to the game. It's got the fur. I know. I like it. I like it. That's Eye of the Tiger, that is, mate. I like it.
Thanks.
Right.
I'm going for the Viking look.
You're welcome.
30 minutes has turned into 50.
I always underestimate it slightly for when it goes over. But yeah. Thanks, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe.
They're good. Nice one. And nice hair, mate.
It'll grow back. It'll grow back soon. Don't worry. I do like it, though. I'm 50-50.
He's off to Boots.
To be honest, it looks fine. It does.
No, I do like it. I do like it at the minute. It's Lee Carsley, isn't it? And Gravison.
I gotta say, when I saw that, because you had the buttons done up, and like I could only see the top of the badge, I thought, fucking hell, it's Chelsea Red Boy in the house.
To be fair, Chelsea with
Chelsea with the skinhead and the white collar.
You'll get a shit off.
I just when I come to the game, I'm gonna look like a proper hooligan with this style. I love it.
Yeah.
More hair on the face. I've just seen. To be fair, Ryan, one thing you've got to say about me is I create some entertainment on this channel. You do not know what I'm going to bring to the channel. I tell you.
You need to do something viral. I think we've lost Yandal, so you're gonna have to take over the reign.
It's hard to match Yandolf. He is a legend.
Get some fucking.
He'll be back. He's a legend.
So we'll leave you now.
Looks like Ashworth Hospital haircut.
I love it.
Ashworth Hospital haircut.
As long as I don't get the freaking Ross Barkley freaking shouts and anything like that, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we do have to shut this off.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to press that off button, right?
I can't get a word in. I'm just about to say that we're shutting this off now because Dan's got to get to Boots before 8 o'clock tonight to get Regained for Men and try and get it.
This is my pulling haircut, Ryan. It's good. My missus fancies me with my hair like this. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
All right.
See you later.